If you're a parrot owner, you have probably asked yourself this exact question. Why on earth does my bird bite me? It's a super common, super frustrating problem. But the good news, it's almost always solvable once you figure out what's really going on. And it really is heartbreaking, isn't it? One day you have this amazing, cuddly, feathered companion, and the next you're actually scared to even offer your hand. It's confusing, it's upsetting, and honestly, it can really hurt the bond you have with your bird. So yeah, those are the $2 million questions right there. We're going to dive deep into the why behind a bite, and then, and this is the important part, we're going to lay out a clear, positive path to actually solve it. So let's get into it. Okay, first things first, we have to understand that a parrot's bite is almost never just random or, malicious. It's communication, plain and simple. Your bird is trying to tell you something really important, and our job is to become detectives and figure out what that is. And the reasons can be all over the map. It could be something from their past, like a traumatic event, or something physical, maybe they're not feeling well. It could be their environment, maybe they're bored or totally overstimulated. Hormones are a huge one, of course. But there's one more on this list that's really key, and it's the one we have the most control over. Sometimes, without even realizing it, we are the ones teaching our birds to bite. So let's talk about our own reactions for a second. When you get bitten, that first instinct is often to discipline, right? To say no. But with animals this smart, punishment almost always backfires. Big time. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. Look at the difference. Punishment, yelling, tapping their beak, any of that stuff, it doesn't teach them not to bite. All it does is teach them to be afraid of you. It shatters trust and often creates even more aggression. Now look at the other side. Positive reinforcement, that's where the magic happens. It builds confidence, it makes your bond stronger, and it focuses on teaching your bird what you actually want them to do. And if you want a real-world example, just look at the story of Purdy the cockatoo. Her owner got frustrated and chased her to get her back in the cage. The result? Total breakdown of trust. Purdy became terrified of her owner's hand, and it took 5 long months of patient, daily work just to repair that damage. It's a huge reminder of how fragile that trust really is. So if punishment is out, what's in? Well, the solution starts with a complete change in how we look at the problem. We have to stop just reacting to the behavior and start, decoding it. This right here, this is the most important mindset shift you can make. Your parrot isn't bad. He's not mean. He is communicating. A bite is a message, and it's usually the absolute last resort after a bunch of other, more subtle signals were missed. Our job is to just get better at listening. Now, what's really cool about this slide is that it gives us a framework, a tool to become those behavioral detectives. It's the ABC model, made famous by Dr. Susan Friedman. Instead of just seeing the bite, we look at the whole picture. What happened right before it? That's the antecedent. What was the specific behavior? And what happened immediately after? That's the consequence. Let's look at a real example with Veda the parakeet. Okay, antecedent. The owner sticks their hand in the cage. Behavior. Veda gives off all these warning signs. Her body gets tense, her eyes get wide, but they're missed, so she bites. And the consequence? The owner yanks their hand away. So what did Veda just learn? She learned that biting is a super effective way to make that scary hand disappear. We unintentionally taught her that biting works. Okay, so once you can see that pattern, you can change it. This is the solution. This is where we shift from just reacting to the bite to proactively teaching our birds what we want them to do instead, using positive reinforcement. And a key tool for this is something called a bridge. Now, this is just a unique sound, like a clicker or a word like good, that you use the exact moment your bird does something right. It's like a little marker that tells them that thing you just did, that's what's getting you this treat. It makes your communication incredibly clear and precise. The whole training process follows this really simple loop. First, you give a cue, like maybe holding out a little stick. The second the bird does the action, like touching the stick, you bridge, click. And then you immediately follow up with a really great reward, like a tiny piece of their favorite nut. It's clear, it's consistent, and you'd be amazed how fast they learn this way. And you can use this basic training loop with a few different techniques. Clicker and target training are fantastic for teaching specific actions. Shaping is how you build up to more complex things by rewarding all the little baby steps along the way. And capturing is a really fun one. That's where you just catch your bird doing something you like on its own and you reward it to make it happen more often. Now, this isn't just about teaching your parrot a few cute tricks. This kind of training is the foundation for everything. It completely changes your relationship from one of commands and demands to one of, communication and a real partnership. And by using these methods, you can solve so many real-world problems. You can teach a bird who is terrified of hands to step up with confidence. You can teach them to fly to you when you call, to go into their travel carrier without a fight, or to stay calm for nail trims. It just makes life so much less stressful for both of you. And let's go back to Purdy for a second. Remember that number? 5 months. It took 5 months to rebuild the trust that was shattered in just a few frustrating moments. Building that relationship on a foundation of trust and positive reinforcement from the start is so much easier and more fun than having to fix a broken one. And it really all boils down to this. This quote from the animal trainer Steve Martin just says it all perfectly. It's not about being the boss. It's about being a good listener, a great observer, and a partner your bird can actually trust. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. When you're dealing with your parrots biting, don't just see a problem that you have to fix. Try to see it as an opportunity to listen better, to understand them on a deeper level, and to build a true partnership that's based on trust and communication. Thanks for tuning in.